Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020, 9:30 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. It is Tuesday, so it's Cartography and World Building Day. But I thought we'd kick off a full week of Harryhausen stuff leading up to Harryhausen Day next Monday, the 29th. For those of you who are not aware, you should know there is a Facebook event set up for Harryhausen Day. You can give a quick search for that if you're on Facebook, and then just invite yourself. Just say you're going. What's going on, Red? How's things? Glad to see you in the stream chat. So I thought we'd talk a bit today about world building rather than cartography in particular, and kind of have ourselves a little look at world building with a sort of a Harryhausen flair to it, huh? People who have been around a little while are familiar with Ray Harryhausen in many of his films. He is, of course, the king of stop-motion animation, sometimes known as claymation, although that's not really accurate since it's not always done with clay in his case. Sometimes it is. But generally speaking, he used articulated models to create his effects. I also wanted to mention that we're gonna do a full week of Harryhausen stuff, essentially. So we'll be looking at his films starting on Thursday, and what we'll be seeing. Let's pop back over to here. Instead of our usual schedule, on Thursday, we're going to take a look back at one of his earliest milestones, 20 million miles to Earth, with Emir. I discussed some of this yesterday, but not how we were going to lay it all out. Today, of course, we're going to just kind of do an overview and world building with an eye toward what Harryhausen might help us as RPGers, runners of RPGs, do with Harryhausen stuff, and we'll review some of his materials with an eye toward DMing and world building. We'll also take a look at tomorrow, campaign building. Now this may seem like it overlaps, and in some ways it does, but when we think about Ray Harryhausen and world building, we're looking at setting, we're looking at atmosphere, we're looking at what you can bring from his types of films to create an atmosphere within your setting. Whereas tomorrow, which is a campaign discussion day, we'll look at Harryhausen, but with a look toward what you can do while running games and while running a campaign to cherry pick ideas to put in as those story elements that we seed our campaigns with. Obviously, you know me, you know my feeling is that campaigns are built by the players. Stories are a byproduct of gaming. So what DMs, what GMs, game masters are doing is creating a setting and seeding their world with nouns, with peoples, places, and things for the players to interact with during actual games. And it's those interactions that inform what the story will retroactively be. We don't know what the story is going to be. There's a lot of people, they take a sort of narrative storyteller approach to gaming, which is, it's okay. It's still one way of doing it, but it's a different style of gaming than I do. I like to create a setting and create opportunities for the players then to interact, and then the story that develops, I don't know where it's going to be going any more than the players do when they start playing. I'm just a neutral arbiter. As a game master, I'm a referee, and I'm just allowing things to unfold based on those interactions. And whatever it is, if and I don't recommend it, but if the players want to spend 3 hours haggling over the price of a 7-day pile of iron rations, well, maybe that's the story, and it's up to them to interact and do things. I just put all these things out there and create opportunities for stories to be created during the course of gameplay. So, today, world building with an eye toward Harryhausen stuff. Tomorrow, campaign running with an eye toward Harryhausen stuff. And then on Thursday, we'll get into the films. I have 9 films in mind for what we're going to do. And the first 2 on the docket will be on Thursday. We'll discuss 2 films. We'll discuss 20 Million Miles to Earth and Mysterious Island. 20 Million Miles to Earth is about an alien creature that crash lands on Earth. As you can see the... Whoop, let's do this. 20 Million Miles to Earth. You can see the spaceship crashed in the water up there. This creature, who starts off small and gets bigger and bigger as he's misunderstood and attacked, is named Ymir, and people have to deal with him. So there you go. Then, Mysterious Island is about a hot air balloon with Civil War soldiers and others getting blown off outside of the United States, outside of the campaign theater of the war, and to this mysterious island where there are all sorts of creatures. You can see the infamous axe beak, the giant crab, the giant bees, and there are others. But we'll discuss those setting elements and other things as we go through more of these films in detail. Thursday, we'll look at these 2. Then, on Friday, we'll look at what I call, what I like to call Ray's dinosaur films, right? So we've got the infamous now 1 million years BC. Good morning, Ink Dweller 8. Good to see you. 1 million BC, of course, kind of became a Raquel Welch vehicle in that she infamously was one of the 2 stars of of the film, along with John Richardson. So this is a world where dinosaurs and our human ancestors coexisted, and what you'll find in this film is certainly ridiculous, given what we know now. But maybe at the time there were some who believed that this sort of world at one time existed. The other film we'll look at on Friday, The Valley of Gwangi, is set in the Old West. It's essentially a Western with dinosaurs. They discover a valley where dinosaurs still live and roam around in the Old West, and fun and excitement continues from there. So that is Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday we'll get into what I call the sword and sandal films. Now remember, Million Miles to Earth, 1956, 20 Million Miles to Earth. Mysterious Island, 61. 1 Million BC, 66. Valley of Gwangi, 69. So those four, chronological order. But then we're going to reach back to his second big film from 1958 with The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. This, of course, is the first of 3 Sinbad films. Also on Saturday, we'll be looking at Jason and the Argonauts, which is another sword and sandals, but rather than with the Sinbad themes, this one takes its cue from ancient Greece, ancient legends, Greek legends, and follows Jason and his cohort of Argonauts, sea-faring warriors who have to go find the Golden Fleece and all of the creatures that they then encounter along the way. It is worth noting that Seventh Voyage was from 58, basically his second movie. And then in 61, as we said, Mysterious Island. And then in 63 came Jason and the Argonauts. Then, of course, 66, 1 million BC, The Valley of Gwangi, 69. And then we get back into this, in the 70s, we get back into the Sinbad films. At this point, they're coming out just 4 years apart rather than 2 or 3. And we'll see 2 more Sword and Sandals, this time 2 more Sinbad films. On Sunday, we'll be taking a closer look at The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. And then, of course, Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, the third of the Sinbad movies. I have all of these on DVD. Mysterious Island and 20 Million Miles to Earth. I have a different cover film copy of 1 million BC. Where are we at? There we go. Just backing up just a minute so that I can show that while I use the same covers that I have for all of these movies, I opted to not use the cover for the exact one that I have for 1 million BC because I wanted to use a cover that actually got the monsters in there. So there we go. Seventh Voyage of Sinbad and Jason and the Argonauts. And then, as I said, on Sunday, Sinbad, The Eye of the Tiger, Golden Voyage of Sinbad. If you look around on on Amazon or some other places, eBay, wherever, you may be able to find this little collection of 3, the Sinbad collection. It has the 3 different Sinbad films all in one collection, which is pretty useful. Pretty cool to have. I got them together that way. And then on Monday, we'll wrap it up with Clash of the Titans. So we've got 9 Harryhausen movies of his 15 credited special effects. If you look on IMDb, you'll see that that's where he has 15 different credits for special effects, although, as we spoke about yesterday, there's an early short, then there's Mighty Joe Young, which, well, it was a great first feature for him to be working on. He wasn't quite as integral in creating that, or he didn't have as much of his work on display in that film as the 9 we're examining. There's a couple of other movies that we don't have amongst our movies here. The 3 Worlds of Gulliver, which doesn't have a huge amount of Harryhausen special effects in it. There's a lot of big guy, little guy camera effects sort of stuff, but not a lot of the articulated model work, which is really what inspires me and what we're looking for, because that's where the monsters are. I know sometimes people are the best monsters, but in the case here, I like to say that the inspiration we're getting is in his world building and in his monsters. Coriolis Storm, thanks for dropping in here. 7th Voyage is awesome, says Inkdweller8 in the chat. A little earlier, Red Barn is the only thing that makes it fun to DM, in his opinion, when you're surprised by the player's actions as much as they are by your descriptions. Absolutely. Let them write the story as they interact. That's really a lot more exciting for me as a DM, for sure. Coriolis Storm says, I saw Golden Voyage as a serial chopped into 30-minute episodes by my local station over a week when I was a kid, and it left lasting memories. Absolutely. Absolutely. All of these films are going to be that way. Uh-oh, am I freezing up there? Tell you what, since my camera's freezing up for some reason and I don't know why, I'm just going to zip over to the big screen. We're getting close to wrapping up anyway, so we'll do the display here. Take a look. Remind people, check out Harryhausen Day on Facebook. Sign up if you're not already. And then also, we'll recap the films we'll be looking at. Again, Thursday, 20 Million Miles to Earth and Mysterious Island. On Friday, 1 Million Years BC in the Valley of Gwangi. These are the dinosaur movies, and that's always fun. We'll be jumping into Saturday, the Sword and Sandal movies over the weekend, with starting off with 7 Voyage of Sinbad, and then Jason and the Argonauts. Sunday, we'll be checking out Golden Voyage of Sinbad, and then Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. And then we'll wrap everything up on Monday, actually Harryhausen Day, with Clash of the Titans. Since we're just looking at one film, we'll have a little more time to kind of do a look back at the course of the week and how things went, and raise a glass to, and I know it's morning, but doesn't mean we have to drink alcohol. We can raise a glass to Harryhausen. This is the usual schedule. We're kind of preempting things. As I say, today we looked at world building a bit with Harryhausen, and we'll talk a little more about that before we go. Campaign discussion. We'll talk about integrating some of the story ideas that can be picked up on by the players as they interact with the world and the monsters themselves. We'll look a little more at that. Thursday, we're going to skip Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and do films all of those days. And Sunday, we will do the weekly giveaway along with looking at Clash of the Titans. Am I still frozen? Yeah, I don't know why that's frozen. I would probably have to restart everything to get that to unfreeze. Unless we can take off the capture. No, that's just me flashing in and out. All right. Well, that's as good as it gets for today then. So we'll take that as a sign that we should wrap her up. We'll talk more tomorrow a little bit about the difference between world building and campaigns, and there is a lot of overlap. So we'll go into more detail tomorrow when we're talking about campaigns and Harryhausen. And we will say thank you very much for joining us in the stream today. If you're not a follower, be sure that you become one, because all you got to do is be a follower and chime in on the got my little list there. We're going to be adding our Stormy Buddy here. There we go. We already have Red Barn in there. We got Ink Dweller on the list already. Good. Everybody who chimed in and spoke up today is covered. Thank you very much, everybody. And if you're checking this out on YouTube, please do subscribe to the channel so you'll get notifications when a new video has been uploaded each day. And like, and feel free to comment. Give us a little feedback. We appreciate that too. And thank you again, everybody. You have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow with more Harryhausen goodness, and we'll talk about setting, and we'll backtrack and talk a little bit about world building since we got frozen out on the video feed today. Take care now.